Hi beautiful souls, today we're delving into a subject that in my experience is the biggest roadblock to walking or even considering walking our North Node, and that is poverty consciousness. Welcome to Spiritual Midwife, the podcast that tenderly guides you through the transformative journey of spiritual awakening and personal development towards the ultimate destination of soul sovereignty. I'm Claire Attio, a medicine woman and dedicated guide to the profound realm of soul sovereignty, and you are listening to Spiritual Midwife. For millennia, humanity has existed within two distinct camps, the haves and the have-nots. Mainstream society often paints a picture where you're either chasing wealth or condemning it is the root of all evil. But let's just set the record straight here. Money is neither inherently good nor bad. It's just a form of energy. It's a means of exchange, a physical manifestation of reciprocity. Yet society is structured in such a way that we're placed in one camp or the other from birth. And every time we start to bridge that gap, history shows us how those with wealth create global situations, wars, economic crises, to maintain that status quo. It's easy to point the finger and to label it as greed. I've done that, you've done that. I don't think there's anybody on the planet that hasn't done that. But when we do, we unknowingly dig ourselves deeper into the camp of the have-nots, playing into a cycle that perpetuates poverty consciousness. So what I want to do is explore this concept deeper. Abundance has very little to do with what we possess and everything to do with our feelings about what we possess. If you've been around spirituality for any length of time, you'll know the mantra of practicing gratitude. And gratitude helps break the cycle of the haves and the have-nots. With genuine gratitude, you could be out on the streets without a penny to your name and still feel rich. You're rich in spirit. And yes, I know spirit doesn't put food in your mouth, or so we're taught. But I can guarantee you that person that is rich in spirit never goes hungry. Now, I'm not saying here there aren't issues with that example. The first question that pops up is if they have mastered their spiritual connection and abundance through gratitude, why are they on the streets? Touché, very good question. This is where it gets really complex, because first of all, they have not mastered themselves. They are not walking their North Node in their totality. That's the first thing to take on board. But they have mastered a level of gratitude that they don't go hungry. They've mastered a level of gratitude that they have their connection to divine, that their basic needs are met. And each of us has a multitude of facets needing self-examination, exploration and healing to bring us into alignment. But true gratitude, not just saying it, but genuinely feeling it, can and does ensure your basic needs are met. This doesn't mean it's handed to you on a silver platter. What it means is that doors of opportunity will open. Most of us embark on a spiritual journey only when we're on our knees. reluctant to stand up and start over again. Hitting that rock bottom is often a symptom of the poverty consciousness we've inherited. And let's be clear, we were given this mindset. But are we willing to continue accepting it? Poverty consciousness can push us into jobs we hate and can have us spending money we don't have to keep up appearances and adopt lifestyles that take us further away from ourselves. But stepping away from mainstream for just a few days can reveal shockingly to us how we're being manipulated into this trap. I'm not advocating that we relinquish the comforts money can buy. Nobody likes their home comforts more than I do. But what I am saying, let's be honest about our relationships with money. Ask yourself these questions. What group do I believe myself to have been born into? What group do I believe myself to be in now? And if that group is changed, what did I do to change that, and what did it cost me? What is my relationship with money? Do I love it? Do I hate it? Need it? Or would I rather not have it if it means selling myself? And I don't mean in the usual tense that phrase is used. It's our morals, it's our moral compass. We've all been in situations where we've had to make a decision and it's gone against the grain. It's at what level, what sense of lack is in you that really goes against your moral compass? Or do you live by your moral compass and leave the rest to divine? I know that's been my path, and it's not been an easy one. There are many times where I could have sold out on myself, and I could have just taken the money and run with it and bugger the consequences, bugger the moral compass, bugger the moral code. It wasn't in me to do that. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not being here and being righteous. That's not my intention. What I'm saying is these are the types of questions you have to ask yourself to get an understanding of how deeply entrenched you are in this poverty consciousness program. Another question is, am I open to receiving? What is my initial reaction to receiving? Am I open to giving unconditionally? And we see this on social media, huge amounts, and within the spiritual community, we talk about this quite a lot. You know, it's about doing good for the love of doing good because you can, and there's doing good and making a meme or a video of it and showing the world, oh, I've done good. Again, I'm not here to morally judge you. I'm asking these questions. I'm posing these questions so you can see and understand where you are on this journey, because poverty consciousness is a big aspect within the soul sovereignty program, because it's something that we are given at birth, and then we keep adding to it throughout our formative years. So I suggest sitting with these questions, because many of us claim to have healthy relationships with money, but when we do a deeper examination, it often reveals a self-deceptive masks that stem from survival. As I just said, soul sovereignty plays a massive role in dismantling the current money power matrix that has been the foundation, scarily, the foundation of society, structure for millennia. And even though we're doing this work, this transformation won't happen overnight. It may not even occur in this lifetime. But by becoming our true, authentic selves, we gain confidence and trust in the process. Financial constraints become cycles to navigate rather than obstacles that define our worth. And I'll repeat that because it's really important for the mindset to really start to flick that switch. Financial constraints become cycles to navigate rather than obstacles that define our worth. So with that said, how can we start shifting from poverty consciousness to an abundance mindset? First, it's crucial to understand that lack is a human perception, not a reality. This understanding helps us peel away all those false beliefs we carry, and we all carry them. We start to pull them away, like the layers of those onions. We start to pull them off, not just for ourselves, but for future generations. The key to abundance is rooted in our beliefs and our perceptions. Like everything wonderful in this world, it's all about the mindset in which we look through our eyes, what we choose to see, what we choose to believe, how we rejig some of our harder experiences that could leave us deflated and cynical and negative into positive learning experiences, and take those gems. How are you approaching this? How are you approaching money? It's your beliefs, your perceptions, and it starts with self-awareness. That's why those questions are really good. And the willingness to change. Practicing gratitude is a really powerful tool. And I chuckle because it comes up with everything we do. Genuine gratitude, feeling it deeply and authentically, can and will transform your life. When we focus on what we're grateful for, we shift our energies, and we shift them from lack to abundance. Another essential aspect to healing our relationships with money is reflecting on our early experiences with money. What messages did we receive from our family and from society? Were you taught that money was scarce and hard to come by? Or that it's a source of stress and conflict? Understanding these early influences, aka the building blocks of your now beliefs, can help you to see how they've shaped your current beliefs and behaviours. What were you taught about money growing up? I know on my father's side, my father was very much work hard and there's nothing you can't have. On my mother's side, my mother was money is a root of all evil, and it scared her. I had those two going on, so neither are conducive to having a really good relationship with money. And so there was lots and lots of work for me to do As I said, my father was very much work hard, there isn't anything you can have. And so, but that sent me into overdrive, which would send me into overwhelm and burnout. Each mindset, each belief that is imbalanced will have its innate issues and challenges which we need to retrain ourselves not to fall into. You have to remember, when these are beliefs and values, we do them automatically. They're running on the subconscious, and so that's why we ask these questions. That's why we do the introspection, so we can bring them up into the open consciousness and examine them and then make choices to change them. So let's just take a moment now to explore how we can shift our mindsets practically. So the first one we've already talked about is the practice of daily gratitude. Start every single day by acknowledging 3 things you're grateful for. And this can be so simple. The sun is shining today. I've woken up. There's breath in my lungs. We can all be grateful. There is something that even when you are in the depths of despair, there is something. You can find something. And it doesn't matter if you're focusing on the same things day after day after day while you're getting yourself out of that rabbit warren, that dark, dark hole. Just keep at it. Other things will start to drop in. I know when I started doing this, my first go-to was that I had a healthy daughter. I have a healthy daughter. I have a healthy daughter. I have a healthy daughter. There was little else, or so I thought, because I was in that black hole, that I could be grateful for. But as I started doing that, and as the time went on, as the days went on, I then started hearing the birds again. I then started to be able to smell the wild herbs and flowers that were growing when I was out walking my dog. There's lots of things we can be grateful for. It's not just about the material world. And I think this is one of the big problems, because we are being brainwashed to just focus on the material world. And yes, as I said, the material world does bring its comforts, it does bring its luxury, and there is nothing wrong with that. But that's not going to sustain you when you're in a bad place and your financial situation is contentious. All that is going to do is exacerbate the issue. And so you start looking at the natural world. You look at the abundance, the free abundance that is readily available to all of us. Reframe your thoughts. And I've done a podcast on reframing. Go back down through the list. You can find it there, and it teaches you, it gives you some ideas of how to reframe. When we do reframe, we catch ourselves thinking that negativity about money, consciously reframe those thoughts. So instead of, I can't afford this, you switch it to, how can I afford this? And then you're leaving yourself open to inspiration. You're leaving your mind open to possibilities. You're leaving your energy, which is the most important thing, open for the universe to show you or to bring it to you. Set clear intentions. Be clear about what you want financially and set those intentions, and visualize yourself achieving those goals and feel the emotions associated with that. I've got a really big project that I have been manifesting for now for, well, almost since I started my spiritual journey. So let's just say it kind of came in 3 years, 4 years, it started making its entrance, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. It's a big project. It is something that is very, very dear to my heart. I every day take a few moments to visualize that. And I know, because it would be so easy. So let's say I've been at it for 7 years. It would be so easy to say, oh, I'm never going to get that. It hasn't showed itself yet. But no, I know that the pieces that are needed for that particular puzzle are going to slot into place in divine timing. It's there. It's mine. It's my manifestation. It's not just for me, but it's my vision, my manifestation, my work. It's something that will come into fruition and has been specifically designed from those moments every day, planning it out, seeing how it would work, having those conversations, being in that space and doing the work that I want to do. Give freely. Practice giving without expecting anything in return. Now, whether that is your time, whether that is a little bit of sharing of wisdom, whether it's helping somebody carry their bags across the crossroads, or buying somebody who lives on the street a sandwich, a hot coffee if it's winter, or some hot soup. Or it doesn't even have to be winter, but I'm always very aware that especially in the UK, when they're out on the streets and they need something hot in their stomachs. Give openly, and in that giving openly with no expectations of anything, you actually assist the flow of abundance in your life and receive graciously. Now, this one I really struggled with. I really struggled with this. This took me years to master, is receiving. I was quite happy to give. That was my imbalance. It shows you the imbalance. I give, but I wouldn't receive. I would overgive. I was an overgiver, and that's very similar for many of feminines that listen to this, because that is part, especially of my age group, because that was the dynamics that we grew up in. The women are the caregivers, so we give, and we also, most of us grew up in families where, from observing our mothers would quite often go without a meal. And I know when my daughter was younger, if things were tight, then I would go without a meal. I would make sure that she was fed and she was happy, and blah 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 blah. It's innately in us, and so to receive something without going, no, there's no need of that, there's no need of that. If somebody wants to give to you, accept it graciously and say thank you, I really appreciate you did that. Notice how you respond to receiving. And if you feel uncomfortable or undeserving, work on opening yourself to receive graciously. This is a beautiful way and a beautiful sign of abundance consciousness. Surround yourself with positivity. Engage with people who have abundance mindset. Their positive energy, their beliefs will influence and uplift you. Now, I'm not saying you go and you become an energetic vampire with them. That's not what I'm saying. Make sure that there is energetic reciprocity there. But if you're constantly with people that are saying, can't afford this and I can't afford that and I can't afford this and I can't, it's going in on an energetic level. You will be absorbing that. The same as if you are around positive people with an abundance mindset and they are talking about, oh, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this, let's do that. Oh, that's that. I wonder how I can get that. Again, it shifts. You absorb that energy and that starts to create shifts within your mindset and within your energetic field. As we work on shifting our mindsets, it's important to remember that it is a journey. I've already told you, I've got something that's been in the making for at least 7 years. And it's interesting because some years ago I channeled a phrase that says, lack is a human perception, not a universal reality. And I've been working with that understanding, peeling away the layers of false beliefs from my psyche. And recently I've been using that same process to heal ancestral energies. Because some of the blocks within my life were not from within me in the physical sense. They were from ancestral lineages, if that is a belief system of yours. Much of the work we are doing is our legacy. As we heal, we pave the way for future generations to perceive that abundance mindset from birth. That is where we're going. That is the trajectory. That is why there is so much backlash and resistance from the other side at the moment. And if we take that on board, let's also consider the concept of soul sovereignty in this context. When we align with our true selves, we become confident and we trust the process of life. If we experience financial constraints, in this new mindset, we no longer fall back into scarcity. Instead, what we do is we see these moments as opportunities of growth and introspection. And it is moments. And we ask ourselves, what aspect needs healing? And we do that work. And we trust that that wheel will once again turn. It is a process. I can't say that enough. It's a process. And it's not always an easy one. But by becoming our authentic selves, we start to dismantle the money power matrix. And it's not going to happen overnight. It may not even happen in this lifetime. But each step we take is a step towards a more abundant future for ourselves and future generations. So I encourage you to sit with these thoughts, reflect on your relationship with money, and begin the journey towards abundance consciousness. It's about healing, not just for personal gain, but for the collective. By shifting our mindsets, we create a ripple effect that can transform the world. And it's just not words, it's a reality. So with that said, thank you for joining me and exploring poverty consciousness. Remember, it is a process, and each step we take towards healing brings us closer to our true selves, our North Node. our soul sovereignty. Until next time, stay true to yourselves and keep moving forward one step at a time. You have been listening to Spiritual Midwife. Blessings to you all.